Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one of the worst videos on the World Wide Web. I'm Smol Goth, and today we're going over the long-awaited first Sketchbooks tour. So I've been doing art since as long as I could hold a pencil. I was probably like not even conscious the first time I was drawing something, and I started filling out sketchbooks a little bit earlier than everyone else. These are the first 3 sketchbooks I ever filled. I only draw on the front sides of every page, so not every page has content. Some of it's just like tiny little things, so we are going to be skipping over some inconsequential pages. But these sketchbooks were from March 2010, April 2010, and May 2010. On average, I was filling like a sketchbook a month for about a year, because I was really passionate about drawing when I was 10 years old. Really passionate about drawing now. In between those times, not so much. My other sketchbooks are spaced farther and farther apart. Some of them, it took me a year to fill one sketchbook, but these are the ones that have the most content, and by far the worst content. I want to start off by putting some of my more modern art on the screen, some of my more recent stuff, just so you guys can get a feel for what my skill level is at now before we get into these. Without further ado, let's get right into this madness. Alright, sketchbook number 1. This is the first ever sketchbook I owned, the first one I ever filled out. I was just over 10 years old at this point. My birthday's in July and this was March, so just a little bit older than 10 years old. The first drawing in my first sketchbook is a Mew. I loved Pokemon growing up, I still love Pokemon. I've drawn 3 to 10 Mews. Don't know why I needed to specify that. That's such a low number of times to draw something, but okay. Go 10-year-old me. We got Manaphy. We got more Pokemon stuff. This is a drawing from memory of a bonus feature off of the Mewtwo Returns DVD. I was really into the Mewtwo, like, saga. This was from, like, the origin story. Fireworks in big, bold letters. Evil Noodle Bug. Oh, I was in 5th grade at this point in time. My friend and I had, like, these, like, Fakemon, basically, and this was one of them. This was, like, our equivalent of Pikachu. Not the evil version, just the normal version. This, if I remember correctly, I had a lot of Legos. I set one up to look like a crane, and then just put a dude, and I tried to draw them. I really like the name Bob, and I distinctly remember calling him Bob, and I don't know why that was such a prominent name for me. So up here we got some smiley faces. I'm not gonna bother flipping that around, because they're just smiley faces. Over here is just the same thing, but way less detailed. This paper, by the way, is some of the worst paper I've ever felt. It's so thin and flimsy and hard to, like, flip. That's a completely blank page. I'm going to make a cube out of smaller cubes. Okay, this one's just the letter I. I think this was supposed to be connect the dots, but I didn't have a picture in mind, so it's just kind of squiggles. And then I learned what blending and shading was, so I tried to make a gradient of shade there and like a little circle ball. And I think this was supposed to be a wolf based on the shape. This one's not bad. I think this is the year that I started reading Warrior Cats, and this was the first time I tried to draw a cat with, like, actual effort put into it, not just, like, a stick figure cat that 10-year-olds draw. That's not bad. I like that. Good job, 10-year-old me. I kind of flipped the page and I saw what's next. Oh, this was also around when Twilight came out, so, like, the whole vampire craze was a thing. I didn't like Twilight, but I thought vampires were cool, so I tried to draw one. And as you can see, the proportions are a little goofy. We have ya boy Luke Skywalker. I wouldn't say into Star Wars, I had just watched Star Wars for the first time, because I wasn't really allowed to watch a lot of action-y movies, even though I watched them behind my family's back when I was awake in the middle of the night. This isn't bad either. It's still a little wonky. It's not the best, but for 10 years old, that's not bad. I'm not unhappy with that. I started drawing a person here. No guidelines or anything. This was back when I didn't use any guidelines. And I apparently didn't like it. Oh no. A really large-headed Pikachu. I don't know what inspired this, but it's a monstrosity, let me tell you. Avril Evie. This was a pun on Avril Lavigne. This is like the closest thing to rock music I was allowed to listen to back then. I had a very, very strict family. My family's still strict, obviously. They're still the same people they were. But, they were very much against the whole goth thing. They didn't like rock and roll. They didn't like heavy metal. So I was allowed to listen to country, classical, a little bit of pop, a little tiny bit, like anything that was in a movie I could listen to. And, swing. Swing was always my favorite. That was, like, the thing that always stuck out to me. And, like, anything that came out in the 80s that was pop music I could listen to. Like, Pat Benatar I was allowed to listen to. But, Metallica, absolutely not. So, Avril Lavigne was really hardcore to me at 10 years old. Trico Sassy. Good job making a sentence fragment. I think this was when I found out that you could blend graphite with, like, a little Q-tip. And I thought that was, like, the coolest thing in the world. And, like, I would do it at school. Like, I would take a little piece of tissue and I would blend it and I would show everyone, and they thought it was really cool. And that was the only thing that anyone liked about me in elementary school, so hey, I did something. This is a scribble. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know why this page is ripped. I thought the page after it was blank because of that, but it's not. There's a single eye. I realized the lighting could have been a lot better. I have 2 lights on. Oh, I had. Now I have 3. And that's significantly better looking at the screen. I am so sorry, guys, but you're not missing a lot. This isn't quality. Oh, this one's not bad. This is a study page. Good job. Yeah, just eyes, shading. They're not great, but you know, it's for 10 years old. That's pretty good. Good job. I say that like I can like time travel backwards. I was really into dragons, and I really liked giving my dragons like cat ears for some reason. So, like I flipped through these like a month ago, so I kind of have an idea of what's in them. And I know there's a lot of cat ear dragons in the other 2, but this one I guess I gave up on. I was doing some math homework in here, I think. And then swatches, good job. I'm gonna keep saying good job throughout the entire thing. Gotta be polite to 10-year-old me. This one was definitely math homework, but on the other side, we have swatches with, Dragon's Rock. Hi. Oh, I was drawing a lot on the opposite pages in this one. So on the opposite side of that, we have some wing studies. It's way more digits than that should be. For 10 years old. Not the worst. And then more on this side, I was kind of figuring out how to do shape breakdowns here. And then I left the last page blank. In a lot of my old sketchbooks, I would leave like the last 5 pages blank, and that was just in case I ran out of room in one of my sketchbooks. That was my whole like thought process behind that. So all of my old sketchbooks have like 1 or 2 blank pages minimum at the end of the book, just in case I didn't get a new sketchbook in time. Now I hoard sketchbooks, so I don't have that problem anymore. You can't run out of pages if you have 5 more blank sketchbooks waiting for you. So that is my first ever sketchbook, March 2010. Let's move on to number 2, shall we? This one feels way too thin for what it's supposed to be. Does this have... This is supposed to be 70 sheets. This is not 70 sheets. I don't know how many pages I ripped out of this, but it's definitely a lot more than I should have. This was what the signature I was trying to go for back then. I started this out, like, my first sketchbook, I drew a Mew. Because, you know, you gotta up that count. 3 to 10 isn't very many, you gotta have more. Go green. I think we were talking about, like, eco-friendly stuff in school. This wasn't for school, but I still drew it because I thought, you know, it would be cool. This one, okay, let me get the book from this. So this lovely drawing here, lovely. This sketchbook is also the first time I started using color in these sketchbooks. You know, it's the second sketchbook, and the other one was like mostly black and white. But this is from Manga Monster Madness. It's this creature right here. This was the tutorial I was following. And I didn't do the worst job in the world. This was when I started using like the actual shape breakdowns and like drawing properly and sketching before I lined things. A lot of like the monster stuff in my early sketchbooks are from like this book and a couple other ones. Shanks, but punk. I like this. I like this little, like, stylized thing. So I know I've said it in another video, but I've been interested in, like, goth and punk and alternative subculture since I was, like, 3. Like, I saw Sam Manson and Danny Phantom, and I was like, that's gonna be me one day. And, you know, here we are. But, this was me trying to express that before I was allowed to. Lizzie. Oh, God. When I was a kid, I tried to make an original species. And they were called the Draconians. Like, I had another one before that was cat people. Which is just horrible. If I ever find those drawings, I will be sure to share them, because they're the worst. But, one of my friends at the time wanted to be made into one of them, so I designed one for her. And you can tell that I didn't know how to draw people. I didn't know how to draw eyes. The way I drew eyes back then, was based on, like, an animation I used to watch. And they had 2 series on the channel. One was Arion, and one was, I think, like, Blue's Adventure or Blue's Quest. And it was a Warriors one. Arion was, like, a Warriors-inspired one. And, like, the main character was, like, a fairy cat. And it was Sweet Pea Productions. And for the life of me, I can't find them anymore. So if you guys, like, have any idea where I can find this animation, if you even know what I'm talking about, please let me know. Because every now and then the theme song for Arion gets in my head. I've been looking for so long to find this, just for the nostalgia factor. So if you guys know what that is, let me know. I was really into Kirby games back then. Kirby Squeak Squad was the first game I ever beat. It was so cool. I love it so much. This was when I started playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I wanted to be a Vulpix, but that wasn't an option in the game, so I made my own. Had a little scarf and everything with a yin-yang on it. Pikachu. It's cute. Oh, you has a little tail on it. Me as a satyr. Okay. This was me just trying to draw one of my dog's toys when I was 10. The panda bear. The panda bear. It's the only one. I was trying so hard to draw so many things in such little time, and the coloring on so many of these is just so bad. The line art is not the worst. I forgot a line down here. I still do that all the time, but, like, I'll notice it now. But, like, good on me for, like, having an undersketch for that. Here's one of the many, many dragons to come. I had a little palette down here. That's cute. Griot, the dragon. So many of these pages are just gonna be dragons. My lindworm. It's no one else's, guys. Oh, that looks uncomfortable. He just folds it. Like, I get that he's supposed to be kind of a snake, but snakes don't fold like that. Dragon black and white. I was trying to do some shading on this. It's not very good. Where's his other horn? His other horn's not even there, and his other arm. But, like, he has 2 legs. What happened to his arm? Someone tell me in the comments what happened to his arm and his other horn. Here's another one with some shading, but it just kind of looks like he's got weird markings. He's got another wing, but no other arm. He doesn't have legs. Why didn't I give him legs? Here he is. He evolved, guys. He evolved. This is evolution. He has both his arms, both his legs, but he only has 1 wing now. And the shading is still just... I was trying. I was 10. I can't be too mad. And how is that the end? Guys, that's the end of the second one. I didn't even skip any pages in that one. Like, I had a couple pages in the other one that were just, like, math and writing and, like, scribbles. But this... How many pages was I unhappy with that I made it, like, 20 pages long? Oh my god. Yeah, back then I didn't like what I was drawing. Jeez. So let's move swiftly onward from this one, because this one's kind of sad. Alright, finally we have sketchbook number 3, May of 2010. This was around when I started dating my drawings. The other one I didn't put dates in it, but, like, I can roughly estimate where it was. This is a $3 sketchbook. Meijer $2.99. If you're not from the Midwest, you might not know what Meijer is, but it's basically, you have a Walmart, you have a Target, you mash them into one. I got a little bit better on this. Yeah, I put these in here in October when I was originally planning on doing this, but that didn't happen. Ice Fox. This is another one from the manga Monster Madness by David Okama. May 27th, 2010. So this is May and June. I like that I was putting little palettes up here, even though I wasn't, like, labeling the colors. And it was kind of, like, blending together colors. All of these are lined in Sharpie. I didn't have any like black markers other than the Sharpies and like the one marker I ran dry in sketchbook number 2. So these are all like bleeding through the page entirely. A Dragon's Roar. This one, I don't remember what book I've read it in, but I started learning about like shapes and making boxes instead of like circles. And I kind of got the perspective, okay, he's really skinny down here. But, you know, sometimes it just be like that. Can you tell that I didn't use references back then? Look at these legs, it's just a straight line. His tail's so big. Oh no, his eye. It should be up here. Okay, May 29th, I drew a pug. And it's not bad, it's really stylized. I kind of like it. It's kind of a vibe. I drew a lot more wrinkles than there needed to be, especially down here. Like, why is there a wrinkle there? But for lining it with a Sharpie, I didn't do a bad job. Like, the lines are pretty alright. Curry, this was my aunt's beagle color. I just left a blank one for the white. That's adorable. A plain blue Lego. Not much to say. Alright. A dragon of today. Not the best dragon ever. I agree. Good job, 10-year-old me, for having some self-awareness here. Yeah, there's not much to say about that. I think my idea of it was like, if dragons evolved like people did and like made planes and didn't need wings anymore or something. I don't know. Another studies page. Cool. Eye tests, puppy sad eyes. And like I wrote down all of like the uses. Like you think that would be kind of obvious. And then I had like a key for where the skin is, but you'd think that would also be obvious. Same key as the last page. Squinty eyes, spider eyes, used for spiders. Okay. And then even more eyes. I really drew eyes a lot. I still draw eyes a lot. Coco the bunny. This was a bunny that I actually had. So we ended up rehoming her because another family member, or like a really close family friend, I don't remember what because I was 10, but they really wanted a bunny. And we figured, you know, she's not getting the best care in the world here. She'll probably get better care over there. She'll probably get a lot more attention. So we did end up rehoming her. We really didn't know what we were doing with the bunny. We didn't have the best setup. Looking back, it was, you know, not the best home for her that we had. So I'm really, really glad that we did rehome her. A sitting dragon. Oh boy, he's sitting. I did include the other arm on this one, though. You can kind of see that behind here. Discolored Poochiana. This was around when, the randomizer ROM hacks were getting big, so, like, you would see specifically the Pokemon Emerald randomizer everywhere on YouTube. If you were, like, big in the Pokemon community like I was. Like, I was into the Pokemon Sprite community and the, like, Pokemon randomizer stuff. I didn't know that it was a randomizer. I thought it was like, oh my god, this is a glitch in the game that I can actually get on my copy of Pokemon, but I was 10, so I was dumb. But, this I believe was based on a Poochiana recoloring from the Pokemon Emerald ROM hack. So, yeah, not really much else to say on that. Dobby! I was really into Harry Potter back then, just because I didn't really have anything else, like, outside of the norm, like, that I was allowed to watch. For some reason, like, Goth is bad, but magic is good. Don't understand that, but, you know, that's family. An owl and a dragon. That's actually a really cute concept, like just a little dragon with an owl sitting on top of his head. I like that. You can tell that I did the line art before the coloring because you could just see how like hard I pressed over the Sharpie to get that. Oh god. Snorlax! This one I didn't end up finishing. So this is what my sketches looked like back then. It was just big circle, big circle. Everything was circles. I didn't have any guidelines. At least I had pretty, like, clean, solid line art. Like, even in my sketches, it was pretty, like, streamlined, I guess the word would be. It wasn't bad for 10. Lizzie's Dragon, 6/17/2010. This was a dragon that I drew for my friend that I drew as a dragon earlier. The anatomy is slowly getting better the farther you go through these. At the time, I don't remember what the comic was called, but I was in the middle of reading a Pokemon comic online. I don't even remember what Pokemon the main characters were, but they were 2 of the dogs, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like, it was a fan-made Pokemon comic. It was about, like, organized crime and, like, a mystery dungeon separate from like the normal mystery dungeons from canon. It was really cool, and I don't know what it was. I wanted to make my own, and this was the first page that I did. And I was just really ripping on myself, like terrible, okay, not the best. This one's good. Good. I won't lose to you is the caption there. Zoran, I think this is from Astro Boy. I think. I don't know. I was 10. Oh no. Oh no. Now we're getting into the Warriors OCs. I, at the time, had all of the Warrior Cats books that were ever published, including the manga, including the, like, field guides, including, like, the offshoots. I was super into Warrior Cats, and I had a lot of OCs. I had an account on Scratch, and I, for like 2 years, exclusively roleplayed in Warrior Cats communities when I was 10 and 11 years old, and 12, and I think I kind of like stopped going on there around 13. Because the internet's forever, kids. Don't forget that. God, I was so dumb. But you know what? Now we have content to go back and laugh at, so that's pretty cool. Gruffin, this is from the Crystal Lacey series, The Last Dragon Chronicles. If I remember correctly, it's about a family that is like bloodkin to dragons, kind of, and they make these little magical clay dragons. I have all of them. I never finished the series because the last book came out when I was like 16 and too good for it. Here we go. Another unique OC don't steal. The teal and neon orange cat. Guys, don't steal him, please. God. Okay, this one's kind of reasonable. This one's a reasonable looking one. Northern Oracle. I don't know why he was named that, but he's the Oracle of the North, I guess. And he looks kind of like a long-haired Russian blue. That's what I'm getting from it. No cat has hair that, like, droops from their ears like that. What was I doing? Look at how his tail fur goes in 2 different directions. No. Dre the Eevee. This was another OC. And he was a punk Eevee. And he had tattoos. How he tattooed his fur, I don't know. But he had tattoos. The shading on this is getting better compared to the last sketchbook. This is a significant improvement from the last one. Not the best, but you know, it's better. Wild Rabbit. I think around this time we found like a colony of bunnies in the middle of our garden and we had to rehome the whole colony. Hey, our first still study. I am really bad at drawing objects and environments. I still am. I still don't do enough of these. This was my first time trying to do it, and I remember distinctly I hated every single second of it. I still remember what the water bottle looked like on my living room table, because I hated it so much. It was neon green, and this part was like semi-translucent neon green. These were like green, white, but I hated every minute of it. I don't even remember what it was filled with. I just knew it was a spray bottle, and I wanted to draw it. And then as soon as I started drawing it, I was like, no, this is horrible, I don't want to do this, but I already started it. Half Ear. He's kind of reasonably colored too. Most of these characters I never even used. Like, I didn't use them. They just existed in my world. Like my little world of my sketchbooks. I would draw them and then forget about them. And I have like 3 more sketchbooks that are just Warrior Cats OCs that I've never touched or done anything with. I would just make character after character, and I think that's why I love character design so much now. Here's another one. Oh god. We have a goth one, guys. We hit it. We hit peak, unique OC, do not steal. Redfoot, the goth warrior cat. Look at that tail. That's just like a giant kink. That's gotta hurt. Right, so this one was a bunch of Stephen King book titles. My mother was and still is subscribed to like the Stephen King book club. Every time he releases a new book, she automatically gets it at like a discounted rate. So one day I just sat around writing down a bunch of book titles, trying to copy the text as best as I could. It's not great. June 30th. We got another Pikachu. This one is extremely improved from the last one. This is probably the best one so far. The line work is actually okay, and I didn't use any guidelines, so somehow, you know, I didn't mess this one up completely. So this is supposed to be a Tarrasque. This is not what Tarrasques are supposed to look like. But, like, looking at this, I really tried to make it look like it was actually something that was standing there. Like, the proportions are a little off, but it's not bad. Like, it's cute. I like it. It's not a Tarrasque, but I like it. Alright, and that is actually the end. Oh no. So that is it, guys, on my first 3 sketchbooks. Again, I started doing art really, really young, and somehow I'm still not at, like, this skill level on this cover here. Like, this, I can't do this. But art is something that I'm really passionate about. It doesn't matter that I'm not the best. It doesn't matter that I'm not the most talented artist in the world. All that matters is I'm doing something that I enjoy, I'm doing something that I can share with others. I'm trying my best to show you guys that it's okay to not be the best. You don't have to be museum worthy, you don't have to be the best artist in the world, you don't have to have $1 million painting, you don't need to be Bob Ross even. But if Bob Ross has taught me anything, it's to enjoy what you do, have fun, and to be proud of what you create. These, by no means, are, like, any good. But I'm still proud of them. I still keep them. I'm so glad that I didn't throw these away when I was like 15 years old going through my old stuff. All of my art from like 2010 onward that's not on loose paper, I have kept and I still have. And eventually we'll go over it on this channel. No matter how bad it is, no matter how cringy it is, we're gonna show you that it's okay to go through these like weird phases where you look back and it's like, oh god, why did I do that? That's all of my old art. That's so much of my old art. But keep it, be proud of it, look back on it, see how far you've come, and don't be ashamed of yourself. Don't be ashamed of the things you make. Anything you make is perfect as long as you're enjoying it. So that being said, guys, I am Smol Goth. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking the video, leaving a comment down below, and maybe even subscribing if you want to see more content like this in the future. I do plan on doing more sketchbook tours, art tours, maybe even some online portfolio tours if we get to that point. And if you guys want more just art content, I'm super active on Instagram, and I also have a Twitter, a DeviantArt, and I actually have a merch store down below. I have a Redbubble store. You can buy some designs. Right now I have about 20 or so up. I have some backpacks, some shirts, some stickers, some prints. Anything helps, anything goes towards funding more of these videos, more art, and most importantly, it keeps food on the table, it keeps the lights on, and it's really, really helpful. But if you're not able to do that, please do consider just liking the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, stay safe, stay scary, and we'll see you next time. Bye.